Oh.
Okay, so getting on the Zoom. Each time we get everyone together, it feels like such a how do you say the word in English? כאילו, הספק של דבר. איך אומרים הישג? Accomplishment. Feels like a great accomplishment. Okay, so I sent out the paper with the story. Did you all see it?
No.
Shira, can you do me a favor? Can you tell the office every week to send it to my email account so they get it? I didn't get it. June sent it to me.
I also didn't get it.
You're not in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, but I wanted it sent to, it's on the WhatsApp group, but I want the Zoom invite to go to my computer, not to my phone.
Okay, I'll tell her.
Thank you.
Shira.
Okay.
Mazal tov, Shira.
Mazal tov.
תודה רבה. What?
Oh, מזל טוב. כן, יפה. מזל טוב.
תודה רבה.
I'm losing him.
Okay, well, you're here. I hear you. Okay, let's start off.
I see it.
Okay, בוא נתחיל. So this story that I brought today is it's a small story.
Where is this story found? Where?
It's there's a book that his student Rabbi Natan wrote about his life.
No. I mean, where do I get to see it? You said.
And you found.
I got it on my phone.
I also didn't get it. Now I see it.
I'm going to read this story anyway. Okay? I'm going to read it, but they send it out on the WhatsApp group. And next time I'm going to ask you to send it out on the
on email. You can't print it on this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask her to send it out on the email list.
Great.
Okay.
You have to copy it. You have to copy it and send it. And
you can't copy it.
She sent it.
Yeah. Okay. It's a short story. So I'm going to read it in Hebrew and then we'll understand it and then we'll translate. Okay?
Yeah.
טוב. הלבנה, the moon, בעטה בקובלנה לפני החמה. The moon came with in tluна. How do you say tluנה?
Complaint.
A what?
A complaint?
A complaint.
Okay. The word קובלנה is a very strong word. It's more than just a complaint. Okay? קובלנה זה לכבול, it's like something opposing to. It's something against. It's more than just complaining.
Protest,
okay?
like a protest?
Yeah, maybe protesting. Maybe that's a better word. Okay, so the moon comes with the comes to protest against the chama, against the sun.
יום רביעי של הבריאה, okay.
לא, זה לא יום רביעי של הבריאה, אבל נדבר על זה בהמשך.
Okay.
What's chachama?
אחר.
Chachama is the sun?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
Chama is the sun, Levana is the moon.
Okay.
Okay? So the moon is coming to the sun with protesting. We'll hear in a second. What is the moon saying? באשר שהחמה משמשת עיקרה ביום ובימות החמה, והיא צריכה לשמש בחורף ובלילות הארוכים ובקור. The moon is saying it's not fair. You, the sun, you are your tafkid, your main time of work is during the day when it's nice and warm and light outside and you can see where you're going and what you're doing. Not fair. Me, the moon, I have to be during the whole winter, the long dark nights, the bakol, and it's cold outside and there's darkness and I can't see anything and it's not fair. Okay? What does the chama do? והייתה חמה מפייסתה שתעשה למלבוש. So once the sun says, אני אפייס אותך. What does it mean לפייס? לפייס means to make her happy, to try to, Esther, do you want to say a better word?
Sympathize?
Placate.
Not sympathize. It's not sympathize.
Placate.
What?
Placate.
Why? I can't hear.
Something wrong with that microphone. Placate.
Does
How
someone here
about to
like explain?
compensate?
Ah,
He
to
uses-
compensate.
he uses
Yeah, that's a good one.
To placate the moon.
Placate.
Okay, so
Placate,
the sun-
yeah.
The sun says, I'm going to compensate you, the moon. How am I going to compensate you? I'm going to give you something to wear. A beged, a piece of clothing. Okay? But one second, the moon had two main complaints, right? One is that it's dark, that she has to be out there dark, long hours. And number two, that it's cold. And what is the sun offering?
Piece of clothing.
Clothing.
Only a piece of clothing. Does it help her for both of her problems?
No.
No.
It will keep her warm.
It'll keep her warm, but what about the darkness? בעיה, נכון? Okay, so bear that in mind, that we only have a partial compensation for the moon. Okay? And of course, we're going to ask ourselves, what on earth מה זה piece of clothing for the moon? כאילו, מה זה מלבוש? Couldn't she think of something better? אבל נמשיך ונראה מה זה. וקראו לכל החייטים הגדולים והחשובים לעשות למלבוש. And they invited all the big designers, the most powerful, smart, a lot of experienced seamstresses, and they're going to come and do and sew a piece of clothing for the moon. ורצו גם החייטים הקטנים ללך, but there were a bunch or a group of younger people that were designers or that were seamstresses, but they weren't invited, so they didn't come. ורצו גם החייטים הקטנים ללך, ואמרו, מאחר שאין קוראים אותנו, אין לנו ללך. Since we weren't invited to come, we're not going to go. ובאו החייטים הנ"ל. In came the big, important חשב seamstresses and designers. They come in and they hear the problem. And what is their answer? והשיבו שאי אפשר לקח לה מלבוש, כי היא לפעמים קטנה ולפעמים גדולה, על כן אי אפשר לכוון מידתה. What are they saying basically?
Oh, that's cute.
What do they say?
That they can't fit her because she's not one size. She keeps changing. The moon changes. It becomes full. It becomes half full. It becomes almost.
I have a question. Does the moon really change?
No, I said it's cute.
Etty, I couldn't hear you. Etty, can you say that
I
again?
said it's cute that I just said it's cute because sometimes the moon looks big and sometimes the moon looks small.
But it doesn't really. But the moon
really doesn't change.
The moon is the same size all the time. It's just what
it's just what we're seeing, right?
Right.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, so the big chashava seamstresses and designers walk out and they say, too bad we can't help you. And then who walks in? ובאו החייטים הקטנים, the minor seamstress, the minor designers, they come in, ואמרו שהם יכוונו מידתה ויעשו מלבוש. They say that they can take her midot, measurements. They can take her measurements and sew a piece of clothing for the moon. Okay? והם יעשו המלבוש. השיבו להם, we don't know who is השיבו, השיבו להם, אם החייטים הגדולים אין יכולים, איך תוכלו אתם? Why on earth do you think, you little seamstress, why do you think that you will be able to sew something for the moon when the big experienced designers couldn't sew something? Why do you think that you can sew? Who do you think you are? And this is the way the story ends. We don't know if they were actually able to sew or not. We don't know what happened there in that situation. But we have here many questions. Okay, what is the connection between the malbush, the piece of clothing, and the moon's different complaints. Why couldn't the seamstresses sew something? What was the secret, maybe we can ask, of the minor seamstress? Why do they think that they can sew something for the moon? Okay, אז בוא נתחיל פה לאט לאט. So what is the first מחשבה, what is the first thought that you have when you read about this moon that is coming with complaints about her tafkid? What does it remind you of? Where does it take you to?
Maybe it's, we're supposed to think of Bnei Israel complaining about the tafkid that we have in the world.
Okay, יפה מאוד. First of all, we see that the moon and the sun, they are, זה הרי משל. They are resembling many different options. What do I mean options? It could be that the moon is Am Yisrael and the sun is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. It can mean one person, the moon is a regular person, it could be me, you, or anyone else, and the Chama is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. It can be a teacher and a student, right? The Shemesh could be the teacher, and the Levana can be a student. יש פה הרבה מאוד אופציות, אבל נדבר על זה בהמשך. Becky mentioned at the beginning that it reminds her of the story in Briat HaOlam, the fourth day of creation, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and on the fourth day he created את המאורות הגדולים, the sun and the moon. They're both המאורות הגדולים. And then, do you remember the story over there? We learned it once, I'll remind you. The moon comes to before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and she says, אין שתי מלכים משמשים בכתר אחד. Why do you need two main illuminating גופי תאורה כאלה גדולים להאיר את העולם? Why do you need also a sun and also a moon? אין שתיהם, just like two kings can't use the same crown, it's one crown for a king. That's what you're asking us, two kings to the crown. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, okay, you're right. לכי ומעטי עצמך, make yourself smaller. And then the moon said to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I showed you something, a fault in the creation, and I have to make myself smaller? That's not fair. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you know what? Even though you'll be smaller, Bnei Israel will be counting the months according to you. But it didn't make her feel happy. It didn't compensate her. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you know what? At night, when you come out, then all the stars are going to come out with you. Just like a king comes with a whole livui shel tzevet shalem. But it didn't make her feel any happier. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told her, you know what? There will be many Talmidei Chachamim that will be named after you, like Shmuel HaKatan. But it didn't make her feel happier. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu picked up his hands and he said, what can I do? I tried my best. Haviu kapara alai, שלא כפייסתי דעתה של הלבנה. הקדוש ברוך הוא is saying, I need kapara, because I wasn't able to make the moon happy. And Chazal tell us that on every Rosh Chodesh, we bring a chatat la Hashem. And we tend to read it, chatat la Hashem, for Hashem, while Chazal are explaining to us that the chatat is for avur HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because he's asking us to bring chatat because he wasn't able to compensate the moon and make her feel good with herself. So every month, Bnei Israel bring a chatat on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay? And it also reminds us that the word kapara, aviu kapara alai, what does the word kapara mean? Atonement, okay, to forgive or להעביר הלאה את מה שהיה. What else? What is the כפורת? ארון העדות היה מכוסה בכפורת. In בית המקדש, ארון, excuse me?
It was like a מכסה.
זה כיסוי, זה בעצם כמו בגד. It's just like a piece of clothing.
You're talking about the curtain? You're talking about
the curtain.
The kapara.
Mm.
The kaporet. The kaporet was like a curtain, it was like a כיסוי, נכון? שמבדיל בין הפנים לחוץ, שמכסה את ארון הקודש.
So it's the same word. I never realized that.
Yeah. When we say kfor is frost.
Frost.
Right? זה מכסה את הארץ. הכפור מכפר, מכסה את הארץ. נכון? Frost is on the ground. It's like covering the ground. And it's the same shorish.
Wow, that's very interesting.
כן, נכון? זה שפת הקודש.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is the moon complaining all the time? She's complaining in Briat HaOlam. She's complaining in this story. Why? Why does she have so many complaints? What do you think?
She's
What
jealous.
does she realize?
Is she jealous?
Why is she jealous? For what?
The nature of people.
בוא נדייק את זה. What is she really jealous of? What does she realize?
She's not the star. She's not the main attraction.
Just like we know that the sun...
She also doesn't understand her koach, because we say that Moshe Rabbeinu haya hashemesh, Yoshua haya ha'yareach.
הלבנה, נכון.
Halavana. So he had to get his koach from Moshe Rabbeinu, but that doesn't take away from the koach he had. He was still able to bring Am Yisrael into Eretz Yisrael, which Moshe Rabbeinu, with all his koach as a chama, was not able to do. So maybe it's a question of, for us to understand where our koach is. I mean, Chanukah, ha'mamatim al-hachakim, al-harabim. In other words, even though we're small, even though the chayatim we're not the chashuvim, they still were able to do something that maybe the chashuvim couldn't do, and that's what we have to understand, that we have a koach of ourselves. Am Yisrael, lumat kol umot ha'olam, are the minority, not the majority, and yet we have the koach because we're Am Hashem.
נהדר. So the moon, actually, from day one that she was created, she realizes that she from herself has nothing. She has nothing. The moon absorbs the light from the sun, right? And then she reflects, and then she reflects the light of the sun from her. She from herself has nothing. נכון? היא מבינה, I'll say it in Hebrew and then I'll translate it. הלבנה מבינה את המקום החסר שלה, את המקום הפגום שלה, את המיעוט שבה. She only sees what she is missing. She only sees what she is not. Which kind of reminds me all of a sudden of the chayatim הגדולים that don't see what the moon is. They don't see that she's always around. They're just seeing that she is partially, she's changing her mind all the time. Once she's big, once she's small, once she's narrow. So Alevana, the moon, when she actually understands that she's b'makom chaser, that she's not full, she has nothing of herself, she's only a reflector, she doesn't realize what is her tafkid, what is the significance of her goal in life is. Okay? And from this place, our story starts, Rabbi Nachman's story. Now let's look a minute at the sun. Okay, the sun is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. The sun could be the teacher. The sun could be one of our sides in our inner selves. And what happens when a child comes to you and he's full of complaints? It's not fair, he got yesterday and I didn't get today, and it's not fair, and the children have complaints. She got more than I did, and v'chule v'chule. So as a parent, I don't know what you did, but usually the first thing that I try to do is להרגיע אותו, and to say, look, yesterday you were first, today she's going to be first. You both have the same amount. Look, if you put it down. I try through my brain to show them that, hi Manya.
Hi,
thanks. Through the thinking part of me, I try to לשכנע אותם, to convince them that there is tzedek, there is justice. Maybe they just can't see it. But of course, that never really helped, right? So Rabbi Nachman is giving us here a very important tip for our life. He says, when someone comes to you with complaints, okay, and it could be any person, the first thing that you are supposed to do, just like the son, זה להיות במקום מקבל, to accept it, not to try to stop it, not to try to convince them that they're wrong, it's just to listen to them, to listen them out, because when they are able to express their feelings right now of pain, of jealous, of not fair, of something that is scaring them, that's the first thing. When you give it a place, you give it a place. כלומר, מגדירים את המקום שלהם. You tell them where it can be. When you try to stop it, then all that's going to happen is they're going to scream even louder. And what happens to the person when he is complaining or screaming even louder? זה תופס יותר מקום. It takes more place. Instead of the כאב being this small, and he's yelling and yelling, לאט לאט זה גדל, it gets bigger and bigger. It's taking more and more of you. I remember that in one of my, I think it was in the second לידה, the second delivery, I didn't have a pidural and I was suffering a lot. And I started to scream. I said, "Die, I can't take this." And the meyaledet said, "Don't scream, you're losing your energy. Take all your energy and use it to push the baby out." And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I can do that. It gave me the illusion that I can cope with it, that I can control the pain. וזה בדיוק אותו דבר בחיים שלנו. When a child comes and he has a pain and he has a feeling and you say, nothing happened, it's just a little scratch, what are you crying about? It's just gonna make the child scream louder and more. And for the child, it makes his pain worse and worse. But when you accept it, okay, it says here, והחמה מפייסתה שתעשה למלבוש. The chama, the sun, is מפייסת אותה, is trying to not exactly compensate, but to make her feel better about it. Okay, that's the way we're supposed to deal with the places in our life when someone comes with a complaint. Not to stop it and say, "Oh, what are you talking about?" אבל לקבל את זה, to listen. To accept it. The person said whatever he has to say. It's out. Now it's over there. It has the place. It has makom mugdar, a specific place. And now we'll see how I can offer my help. Okay? So what is she offering? What is the sun offering the moon? She's offering a piece of clothing, a malbush. Okay? And now I want to ask you, מה הקשר פה? Why is the malbush coming in? What is the connection between malbush, kapara that we mentioned before, Rosh Chodesh? What is the connection between all these things?
Well, I think there's a certain deviousness in the gift, in the idea of the gift, the clothing, because what that's going to do is cover the moon, cover the light, diminish the moon, actually.
Okay, so Metsuyan, you're taking me to our next step over here, and I thought to myself, malbush, and זה זרק אותי ישר לברכת השחר, או בסין ברכות השחר, מלביש ערומים. Right? What is מלביש ערומים? I mean, הקדוש ברוך הוא doesn't dress me in the morning, I get dressed on my own. Why did Chazal put the words in this way, מלביש ערומים? And Rav Kook, I'm going to explain what Rav Kook says, and then we'll read it together. Rav Kook explains to us something very, very beautiful that's going to take us here forward in our story for the next step. What does the Rav Kook say? Rav Kook says, what is the difference between an animal and people?
Many.
There are a few differences, right? No, אני לא שומעת.
Thinking, reasoning?
We don't know. Maybe animals think.
They have instinct. They go by instinct.
We also have instincts.
But we think that we have a capacity to reason.
Okay, we also think. But what else? What do we have different than animals?
We wear clothes. Okay.
We wear clothing, מצוין. And we also spoke about it in the past. I'm not going to say it again. לא ניכנס לזה, אבל יכולת הדיבור, our speech.
Well,
okay, but I want to take, excuse me?
We have a conscience.
We have a conscience. But I want to take what June says. We wear clothing. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, which societies, any place you go, maybe they're wearing less clothing, but they're always wearing a piece of clothing. When you go to Africa, even to the different tribes, maybe their whole upper, from the waist and up, everything is hanging out over there. But they're always wearing a piece of something, like a little something on their on their waist. They always have something on them. And because of the that they walk around totally stark naked. And Rav Kook says, do you know why? Because the clothing, the piece of the clothing, every person has an inner drisha, an inner, maybe not instinct, but איך אומרים דרישה? Becky?
Desire. Want.
Not desire.
Need.
Need. Yeah, maybe need. Maybe need is a good word. Every person has a need to wear something on top, to wear something, a piece of clothing. It doesn't matter what the size is or where on the body it's gonna be what it's covering. But every person, בטבעיות שלו, in his nature, he has a need to wear clothing. As the animal doesn't have that need. Why? Rav Kook says that the need of the clothing is an understanding of the person that he has an inner self. יש לו נשמה טהורה בפנים. He has something very inside himself, very deep, a lot of depths, and that he needs to cover his body in order to be able to look inside himself. Okay? Mm-hmm. The need to wear a piece of clothing זה כדי לאפשר לנו להתבונן פנימה על הפנימיות שלנו. Okay?
It's interesting. The neshama has a covering, which is the body. And now the body has a covering, which is clothing.
נכון. That Rav Kook says is a gift from God. The need to cover my body because I realize that I have something very deep inside that I can't see it if I don't have a piece of clothing on me. Now we'll read it in Rav Kook, and then I'm going to take you. Excuse me, Becky?
Which is interesting because Adam Harishon...
רגע, חכים אדם הראשון. עוד מעט נגיע לשם. עוד רגע. את תמיד לוקחת אותי. רגע, שנייה. Okay, let's read Rav Kook just in his special words, ככה קצת להיחשף לעוד מישהו, ואחרי זה נעבור לאדם הראשון, okay? So Rav Kook says like this. He says, העירום, being naked, הוא מרשם בנו רושם של גנאי והיעדר הכבוד. Being naked, רושם is impression. כל הכבוד לי. העירום, being naked, leaves on myself a very bad impression of גנאי והיעדר כבוד. היעדר כבוד is the lack of respect, okay? If I walk around naked, it's a lack of respect to myself. המנגד לתפארת האדם, that is מנוגד, is the opposite to the תפארת of the person. By the way, תפארת is the name of one of the ספירות inside בנשמה של הבן אדם. הננו מוכרחים להתגונן נגדו בלבושנו. We have to protect ourselves from the lack of respect and from the gnai of nakedness. How do we protect ourselves from that? By בלבושנו, by wearing a piece of clothing. וההכרח המוסרי הזה, when we feel that this is our need, we can't live without it, אשר נטע בקרבנו יוצר האדם, הקדוש ברוך הוא built it inside our neshama when he created us. אוקיי? אחרי שכבר נקבע המושג שהעירום הוא דבר ששולל את הכבוד. אוקיי? העירום, the nakedness, takes away our dignity. וזה ההכרח בעצמו מתת אלוקים. And this is the gift that we got from הקדוש ברוך הוא, המעיד על זיו הנשמה. This gift מעיד, it is telling us, how do you say a nice word for מעיד? What is the word? What?
What's the word in English?
טוב, לא משנה.
Confirms.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe. Confirms, maybe.
Confirms.
Confirms? Okay, maybe.
Mm.
Okay, confirms that we have a big neshama in ourselves. האצולה מזוהר הכבוד של מעלה, peace of Hashem that's within ourselves, החיה בקרבנו וחופפת עלינו. So this is what we learned from Arav Kook, that it's a gift that we got from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we feel that we need to wear a piece of clothing, because this is what tells us, this is what's confirming that we have a piece of the neshama Torah in our body, in ourselves. So now, after we heard why we wear clothing, we can understand that the clothing is like a kind of a barrier between our neshama and our ability to look inside the neshama. We can't look what we have inside us if we don't have a piece of clothing on us. And this is the problem. This is what started off in Gan Eden as Chet Adam HaRishon. And I'm going to read it to you a little bit over here from the Gemara in Hebrew, and then and of course we'll translate it. Okay. Okay. So before Chet Adam HaRishon, it says that they were both naked. V'lo yitboshashu. Okay. They weren't ashamed. They didn't feel the need to wear a piece of clothing. They were naked and they were fine about it. But then what happened? What happened was that Adam and Chava were both naked. I'm going to read it to you. They say that לדעת חז"ל החטא בגן עדן היה גילוי עריות. We always were talking about the first chet of eating from the tree. Chazal say, no, the first chet was gilui arayot. What gilui arayot? Who was around there? It was only Adam and Chava and whatever, the snake that we meet later, right? What do they explain to us? Becky, אני מבקש ממך להתאפק ולא לגלות. אני רוצה להקריא את זה שלה אחרי שלה. So it says like this, בשעה שבה נחש על חווה, הטיל בה זוהמה. When נחש had יחסי אישות with חווה, then we הטיל בה זוהמה. That's where חטא הראשון דבק בה, became a part of her, and we were trying to get rid of the zohema till today. This is from Masechet Avodah Zarah, by the way. And Rashi explains to us, והנחש היה עירום. It says about the nachash, I don't know if you ever realized, והנחש עירום מכל חיית השדה. And now I'm saying to myself, why does it say in the Torah that the nachash was naked? What does it have to do?
No fur.
No fur, כאילו, מה זה קשור? נכון? What does it connect to? What does it give us? אלא ללמדך מאיזו עילה קפץ הנחש שלהם. This comes, they tell us that the נחש was ערום because it comes to explain to us why the נחש jumped on חווה. ראה אותם ערומים ועסוקים בתשמיש לאין כל ונתאווה לה. The נחש saw Adam and Chava having יחסי אישות, and he also wanted. And now Chazal tell us, משיכתה של חווה אל הנחש, כהבנתם של חכמינו, מחייבת אותנו לומר, שהנחש קודם שנענש היה דומה במראהו לאדם. נחש, before he was punished, על גחונך תלך, okay? Before the punishment, he looked just like a person. But he was naked. because he's an animal. Animals don't wear clothing. Okay? שאם לא כן, מה מצאה חווה בו וכיצד נתפתתה להיות איתו? How can it be that חווה, אם כל חי, was seduced to going together with a snake? So Chazal explained to us that it must have been that the snake looked, מבחינה חיצונית, he looked just like a person. And that's why Chava was, she was seduced by him, okay? ואולם למרות הדמיון החיצוני, even though they looked similar like people, Adam, Chava, and the snake, okay, he still was an animal. He doesn't have an neshama tehora, okay? He didn't have a special תכונה פנימית. And Adam and Chava, of course, did have את התכונה האנושית. צלם אלוקים היה נטוע בהם. אז בעצם what happened here was that because Adam and Chava weren't wearing clothes, they forgot who they are. They forgot that they have a neshama tehora in themselves, and they're not like the animal, they're not like the snake. And that's what confused Chava, and that's what caused her to be seduced ולחטוא בחטא הזה של גילוי עריות, כי הייתה אשת איש. Okay? And that's why the first thing that we hear after the חטא is that הקדוש ברוך הוא תפר להם בגדים, נכון? הוא תפר להם עלי תאנה לכסות. I don't remember exactly the לשון of the pasuk, but that's the first thing that happens after the חטא. Because they realize that if they're not dressed, they tended to forget who they are. They can't see who they are. They think that they're just like the animal. The animal doesn't wear a piece of clothing because he doesn't have her inner self. What you see is what you get. What he does, whatever you see, that's the most he gets with the animals. With a person, with people, that's not זה לא זה. Okay, I just want to remind you that soon our Zoom is going to shut down and then you have to go in and connect again. Okay, but I'm going to continue till we get cut off. So basically, our bracha that we say every morning in Malbish Arumim is that we are thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that A, he gave us an inner self, B, that he gave us clothing, and C, that we have this need to wear the clothing in order to look inside and see who I am and what I am. Okay? And now we're going to go back to our story.
So Shira, that would be a tikkun for everything that we've done in Sefer Vayikra, Bigdei Kohanim, the Bigdei Malchut. In other words, to show what the person is, חיצוני.
אבל בקי, עד היום אנחנו, הנשים, מתקנות על ידי לבוש צנוע את החטא הזה.
נכון.
לא רק ספר ויקרא, עד היום, עד זה הרגע, עד כל המריבות שיש לי עם הילדים שלי. למה את לובשת חצאית מיני ושרואים לך את התחתונים? למה השרוולים שלך ככה? נכון? כל זה התיקון של החטא, שמפה זה התחיל, שהלבוש מזכיר לנו מה יש לנו שם בפנים. Our clothing, I forgot myself, I'm going to say it in English, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Until today, we are doing the tikkun of Chet Adam Arishon, of the Gilui Arayot, by wearing proper clothing, by wearing bgadim tznuim. Till today, we're all busy beletaken et hachet hazeh. And of course, by wearing the clothing, we can remind ourselves when we're covered, we won't forget that we have an inner self. We won't get, אנחנו לא נתבלבל. We're not going to get confused. It won't be able to confuse us. Okay? So now let's go back to the story and let's try to understand why Rabbi Nachman is giving the moon a piece of clothing. מה אתם אומרות? מה הקשר בין הלבוש? I think June started saying before, maybe also Eti and Esther. Why is the levush Why is the clothing for the moon a very good solution? It's not a compensation. It's a solution for the moon to deal with her inner issues. Why?
Maybe she feels a sense of emptiness inside, and or because of her tough kid, it seems so negative to her, and by the sun feels that by giving, clothing her, she'll be forced to contemplate more on what her, inner, what her tough kid is, what they value it.
Her inner strength.
Value it.
נכון מאוד. June said at the beginning that the sun is covering the light of the moon, that the sun is giving a piece of clothing to the moon that is metashtesh. How do you say metashtesh? It's
blurs.
It's blurring the moon. You remember, June? We started out over there?
Yeah, I said it was diminishing the light. Yeah.
Diminishing the light. But I want to tell you now, just like Esther said, it's on the contrary. The piece of clothing that the moon is getting here is going to enable her to even להאיר עוד יותר, to even illuminate more, to understand who she is and what she is and what is her special tafkid in the world. She can say, I'm nothing, I have nothing of my own. That's just being like an animal of what you see is what you get. There's nothing more to it. But over here, the sun is telling her, the sun, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, is telling us all that we all have clothing to ourselves because we have something very special inside. And we can't see our specialness. We can't see inside us if we're not wearing a piece of clothing. So the sun is kivyachol. It sounds as if she's compensating her, but she's really giving her a very big lesson for life. And I think that at the end of the story, we don't even see if she gets a piece of clothing or not, because the story ends. Remember, the story doesn't end by Abi Nachman telling us at the end she got a beautiful cloak or a dress or whatever. Because at the end, it depends on us what we choose to do with it. If we choose to put on a piece of clothing and look inside ourselves and look what we find there, what are my inner values, strengths, v'chulei, v'chulei, or am I going to say, what am I? I'm a little person on earth. What can I do already? How can I be mashpia? I'm just one person. Anytime I say this, I always remember what Michael Vishansky said at the shiva of his father not long ago, that his father was one person that decided that he had to take care of all the Jewish children that went to public school in London. And he used to go from school to school with his violin, like a magnet. The children magneted to him, and he saved their Jewish life. And then he told us in Israel how they came and told him that he saved their lives. He was one person that decided that he wants to make a shinui. So it's very easy to look at what we don't have, like the moon or like the chayatim b'dolim, to look what we don't have, and to feel that we can't be mashpia, that we can't, mashpia is a very Hasidic word for give, for expressing give, latet, להשפיע, להאיר, okay? So we can all say, what am I, what am I? And Rabbi Nachman is telling us, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling each and every one of you that everyone is a mashpia. Everyone can be reflecting a light. Everyone can see chashivut in his goal in life. But you have to look inside. And in order to look inside, you have to wear a piece of clothing. And I want to say another thing that Rabbi Nachman is telling us here that is also very, very important. We said before that the moon has two problems. One is that she's cold. Okay, so she's getting a piece of clothing to make her feel warm. But the piece of clothing doesn't really help her to deal or to see her way at night when it's dark outside. Remember before, she said, the moon says that she has long shifts during the night, and it's dark outside, it's long nights and it's dark. And a person in the dark can feel very alone. And a person in the dark doesn't see where he's going. He doesn't have beirut derech. He doesn't know where he's going to find the answer. He doesn't know where he'll find the energy or the strength to overcome it. And Rabbi Nachman is telling us, you're never going to have an answer for that. When you feel that you're in the darkness, at the end of the day, it's yours to take home, and you have to be able to jump, to do that leap with emunah into the life. And I want to give you an example of a couple that Shani melava otam and doing it and praying and doing as much as I can for them, because he wants to marry her and she wants to marry him, but she can't say I do. She can't say yalla, because she says, how am I going to know that he's the right person for me? How am I going to know that it's going to work out? How am I going to know that there's no one better than him? Ve'en hadavar hazeh tshuva. There's no answer for these questions, right? אתן מסכימות איתי? נכון? There's no answer. And זה לא משנה how many clothings we'll give her, like the moon, and we'll tell her that he loves her and she loves him, and she doesn't want to separate him, and she sees that they can be a good couple. And it doesn't matter how much we can talk about all the good things that they have together. שהיא כאילו לא מסוגלת לעשות את הקפיצה הזאת, להגיד, okay, I don't know, אבל יאללה, נלך על זה. Right? When we were all pregnant, did we know that the pregnancy was going to come to a good ending? Did we know that the children will be born healthy and ונגדל אותם? לא, אנחנו לא יודעים. אבל אנחנו עושים כמיטב יכולתנו, אנחנו עושים את הקפיצה הזאת. אבל this קפיצה is what Rabbi Nachman is talking about in the story. That's why there's no solution for the long, dark nights for the moon. Because at the end of the day, each and every one of us gets to these points in our life that we don't have a definite answer, we don't know. But we have to be able to hold it, להחזיק את החיים כמו שהם, to be able to live the life with all these question marks in them. זה החיים של היהודי המאמין. מזל שלנו יש אמונה that helps us go through this phase. אבל אין לנו תשובות להכל. You're cold, we can give you a piece of clothing. But for the darkness at night, I'm sorry, I don't really have something that can help you. You're going to have to be able to hold it, to understand that this is life, וצריך להמשיך עם זה הלאה. That you're going to go to the chuppah, you'll get married, and you'll have to work on it all your life to make it be the best bchira for you. Okay? Okay.
I think that the moon in its phases, and it goes through different sizes, also symbolizes in a way uncertainty. And so, there's times when we don't know, and the uncertainty, we have to live with that uncertainty, but it always ends up being full at some point.
Maxim, beautiful. It always ends up being full. It depends what you're willing to put in it. Right. And now that takes us to the last point over here that I wanted to say. If you look at you don't have the story. 1 second, I'm going to go back to the story. Okay, so now look how smart Rabbi Nachman is with the words that he chose. Okay? Come the big designers, the seamstress, the chashava seamstress, the tailors. Sorry, that's a better word. The big designer tailors, they come in and look what they say. Okay? ובאו החייטים והשיבו שאי אפשר לקחת למלבוש. We can't. Mani, are you okay?
I'm okay. This just fell down.
Okay. The seamstress, the big tailors come in and they take one look, and then they say, no, we can't sew for her a piece of clothing, because sometimes she's small, sometimes she's big, and that is why we can't take her measurements. First, they're using the word clothing. They're looking at the chitzoniyut, and when they're looking only at the chitzoniyut, only at her malbushim, they are not able to look at her inner self, at her midot. Okay, midah is also a measurement, like we said, and also our midot in our nefesh. Tikkun midot. And I think that this is what gives us the hint. What is the secret of the little seamstress that is going to walk in a few minutes and say, I can do it? What is their secret? If you would have the story, you see that they see, ואמרו שהם יכוונו מידתה ויעשו המלבוש. They're going to first of all look at her midot, at her inner self, and according to that, they're going to be able to sew a piece of clothing for her. So maybe we can say that the secret of the success of the small seamstress, benigud, as opposed to the big tailors, the chashava tailors and designers, is that she is able to look inside at the midot, and according to that, to sew the piece of clothing for the moon. And a lot of times we say that when you look at a person, what he's wearing, it teaches us about his inner self. I remember when I was young, and I was going to different job interviews. So then I used to get in the mail that, like, I don't know how Google saw that you're going whatever to mail it to, that he saw that I was going to חיפוש עבודה, ואז הוא שולח טיפים. And one of the tipim is, how do you dress when you go for an interview? If you're going to wear red and bright pink, so then it shows that you have a lot of bitachon atzmi, a lot of self-esteem. And if you're going to wear gray clothes, then you're going to come across as a depressed person. So we have malbushim for the king, for the kohanim. כאילו, המלבושים החיצוניים בהחלט מספרים לנו על הבן אדם, אבל הם חייבים להיות שם כדי שיספר לנו על הפנימיות של אדם. The clothing has to be there in order for us to look inside us and look at the pnimiyut, the inner self, at the different midot of the person that we're talking to. And agav, talking about midot, of course, it takes us back to these days of Sfirat HaOmer. And in the Torah and the Mitzvah, it says, Usfartem lachem. What is Usfartem lachem? Why dafka lachem? Usfartem. מה זה Usfartem lachem? And Rabbi Nachman in his Torah, he says, Usfartem lachem. Each and every one should be focused on his own inner self. Usfartem lechad, kol echad leatzmo. Everyone has to be focused on his inner self, to think where he is, what he has to letaken. And it's also mashlim et zeh that we are counting. We're not counting backwards, we're counting forwards, meaning that we're counting the days that have passed and not the days that are waiting for us. Like before we get married, you say, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I'm getting married in a week and a half. I'm getting married in a week. It's like the down, it's counting down. But Sfirat HaOmer, it's backwards. We're not backwards, we're counting what we have done. Be'etzem Rabbi Nachman is saying we are counting what we have accomplished already. One day la'omer. Every day we're being metaken a certain midah. Today we're doing hod shebanetzach. Every day אנחנו מתקנים מידה אחת. We're looking at one midah and אנחנו מתקנים אותה. And we're constantly looking at what we did and not what is left. Because if you're going to be focused on what is left, you can be discouraged and say, oh my gosh, I have so much left to do. It's so hard for me. And Rabbi Nachman says, never look in that kind of a way. Always look at what you have already done. And every midah that you have already accomplished will give you koach to do another day. Just one more day. Remember we spoke about Zeh Hayom Asa Hashem? Just to look at one more day, at just today what we have. And this is being emphasized through Sfirat HaOmer. So let's sum up our whole story over here. We have the Chama and the Levana, the sun and the moon, that we already met them in Briat HaOlam, the 4th day. And from there we also learned the word kapara, when Hakadosh Baruch Hu is asking us, "Aviu kapara alai, shemi'ateti hayarech velo piastia," that I wasn't able to make the moon happy with herself, even though I asked her to make herself smaller. And this kapara, what is the kapara that we are doing? We're bringing the korbanot and in every Rosh Chodesh. And this kapara in our story over here comes through the malbush, through the piece of clothing that is covering our body, okay, which is reminding us of Chet Adam Rishon Begilui Arayot, that confused them, that they forgot who they were, that they have a special neshama that only they have and not animals. And when we are wearing our clothing, then we can look at our inner selves and do our tikkun of the midot. You can look inside and see who you are and what you want to litaken, which midah, how litaken, and this is the secret of the smaller seamstress, that they are able to sew the piece of clothing, because they are looking inside the yareach. They are looking inside our neshama. And of course, you'll see that the story doesn't really have an ending. The ending is an open ending, right? We don't know what really happened over there. We just know that everyone is trying to discourage the little chayatim, the little seamstress. They're trying to discourage them. Why do you think you'll be able to do something that bigger people than you tried and didn't succeed in? וזה רבי נחמן בא לחזק אותנו, to give us koach that we are able to do it. But it's our bchira, it's our choice. If we're gonna wear the clothing and look inside on our midot and give them את המקום הראוי ולתקן אותם, או לא. And this is the bracha that we say every morning, Malbish Arumim. It reminds us, the bracha comes to remind us of this story, of who we are, that we have it in ourselves. We have the need to wear clothing, and we're thanking Hashem for that. And by thanking Hashem for that, we're also saying another thing. We have the koach to look inside and be mitaken, whatever needs tikkun in our midot. אז בעזרת השם שנעשה ונצליח ללבוש את הבגדים ולהתבונן פנימה ולתקן את המידות. And we should always be happy and feel very accomplished in every day that passes by with the tikkunim that we have done. בעזרת השם.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
So it was very nice meeting you again.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward for next week already. I'm looking really forward for when we can all meet panim mul panim. אבל בעזרת השם לאט לאט.
Okay. Back at Merla's, right?
2 meters apart.
Yeah.
We'll have to knock down the walls in order to sit apart.
I want to do that.
טוב, חברות, יהיה שבוע טוב.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Turn it off.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to try to turn it off for you, okay?
Okay.
Go to leave meeting.
Yeah, I'm looking for the end meeting, but...
Leave meeting. That's it. Goodbye.
I have no
Okay,
idea.
on the right bottom part of your screen, you have leave meeting. Do you see, Merla?
No, I see 4 dots. Oh, wait, maybe at the
okay, she's out. Esther, do you see on the right bottom?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you on the computer, Esther?